Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome. I've got the wonderful, beautiful, magnificent Dr. Ann back with us
Well,
today. She's got
hey
some
everybody.
exciting stuff to tell us about, and
Yeah.
I've got the visual aids to go with it.
Yes,
So,
she does before me.
the mailman ran on time. So,
Awesome.
why don't you let everybody know what you've been up to, what's going on, all the broken limbs, and you got
Yeah.
cast everywhere.
Yeah, I've got a cat. Well, I've got a boot thing on my foot. I like to kiss the ground quite often. Meaning I had a fall, but I'm okay. I just broke my big toe and sprained my wrist, so I'm feeling sorry for myself. But I'm so happy to be here, and I love your intro, Sherry. It's so inspirational. It's
That
so
is
cool.
Andrew from Androniki Skincare. Andrew made that for
Oh,
me.
it's
I was
beautiful.
we were chatting one day. We had a show coming up and he had texted me and we were chatting on the phone and I was had been working on trying to create an intro and I was getting very frustrated because I don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to that
Yeah,
kind of stuff. And he could hear it. He's like, "What are you working on?" And so I started telling him, I said, "It's just I can't make it do what I want it to do, and I don't know what I'm doing."
yep,
And I was almost in tears. I
yep.
was so upset. He's
Oh,
like,
I'm
"Well,
sorry.
send me what you got. Let me just look at it, see if I can tweak something." I said, okay, fine, thinking maybe he could string a few pictures together or
Sure.
something. And that's what I got back. I was like, holy smokes, dude.
That's
If you
incredible. Oh
watch
my
any of
gosh.
Marina's
Thanks.
shows, her opening on Marina's channel,
Oh, okay,
that's
cool.
done by Andrew.
Oh
And
wow.
we did
That's
somebody else's too, and I don't remember who. But
That's crazy. I mean, it's
and
really that's
I'm like,
awesome.
dude, what do I owe you for that? He's like, no, I just did it because I used to do that for a living and it's like a hobby for me now.
Wow.
I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
and I just did it in 5 minutes, kind of thing, and that would take me like a week or two to
Oh,
even do
a year,
that.
and I would be anywhere near that. So I get totally lost. I do good with the pictures on Canva, and that's about as far as I can go. Um,
Yeah, that's great. Those are
I
awesome.
know
I love
other
Canva.
people do like they can do editing and bring stuff in and take stuff out, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you lost me. And I've got
Yeah,
this
no, fair
really
enough.
super cool editing software that my son put on my computer. I can't make
Oh,
it
cool.
work. I mean, every time I try to use it, I have to call him, come make it
Oh,
do whatever, and then he'll come in and go, rat-a-tat-tat-tat, okay, and he leaves, and I'm like, all right, I didn't learn anything because you just did
yeah,
it.
I know. Oh dear, never
Like you
mind.
got to take the
Yeah.
baby steps with Mama here. So, um,
Never mind. All good. So yeah, I've been well, it's now we've had a beautiful fall, autumn, and we're just today it's been really cold. That's the merino. It's really cold here this morning. We had a clear night, so anytime it's clear at night, it's going to be cold.
yeah,
Yeah. So, and just keep it on. And so one day when my mother passed away over 2 years, a year and a half ago,
yeah, about a year and a
and
half
for a good
ago, yeah.
year, I was like floundering, kind of wondering what to do next. And I finally found my little passion project, and that's been, and it has nothing to do with work. It has nothing to. It's just something that I wanted to help people because that's what I do anyway with work. Being an academic in that world, but I want. I reverted
Doing
back to
something
what I
fun.
like doing, which is writing and fun. Yeah. So what I did is I created two, and I just started this as a side thing, just for something for
You did a
people,
journal.
a journal called Grown
It
and Grateful.
is
Yeah.
like large print so we can see what it says.
Yeah.
And
Even at nighttime.
it's only a 14-week gratification, gratitude and boundaries journal.
Boundaries.
For
Yeah.
women over 50 is so 14 weeks for those that are new at all of this or
Yes.
who have never done a lot of journaling.
Yep.
You order something on journaling and you get books this freaking thick and it's so I know my first one I got, I was like, oh my God, I'll never be able to do
It's
that.
overwhelming.
And it was very intimidating. And so this is feels like it's kind of like just right. And then it
Yeah.
can be added
Thank you.
to volume two, volume three, and
Yeah.
go on down the line. And then
Yeah. And then I created a little coloring book
This
that
is
I
the coloring book,
flourish
Flourish
in the
in the
line,
Line.
and how to use
As
it.
you can see, you got
And
some pictures there.
so you can color them in, and it has a little statement, and then it has an affirmation. So it's nothing crazy.
Yeah,
And
like
I had to
here.
use pen names for them because my academic name I have to keep for my research because the academic community frowns on it. And that's cool.
Yes,
We all
God
have
forbid
multifaceted. Yeah.
academics do something fun. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. So anyway,
I
yeah,
work for
whatever.
professors. I know what you mean. They're like, yeah, you can't put that name.
Yeah, exactly. So
Whatever.
I made some cool names, but yeah. So the 50s are really the new adolescence. It's like the rest of your life is in front of you. You're done with the kids. You're fresh and new. You still got heaps of living to do, and just get in touch with yourself and move forward. And so for me, it was just like, gosh, isn't there something to help us that are over 50 onwards? And it could be anybody who wants to use it is fine. I mean, they're
I
still
know,
positive, but I just wanted to focus on our group of women, and
right,
men if they want to, whatever. I don't care. But
when
yeah, it's just,
my mom's dementia started getting really bad, and she was really starting to struggle with her memory.
yeah.
Uh, we had two retired nuns that lived like several doors down from us in the
Oh,
apartment
nice.
complex we lived in,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
both of them were former nurses as well as nuns.
Yeah.
And so one of them came by one day, and she brought like a whole burlap bag full of adult coloring books, which are
Oh, neat.
very similar
Yeah.
to this one, and
Yeah.
a big box of coloring pencils, and
Yeah.
which thrilled my mother to death because she always liked doing that kind of stuff. She would
Yeah. Neat.
draw her own
Crafts.
pictures and then color them in. But
Hmm.
with the dementia, I think it kind of helped her some of that eye hand coordination that they
Yeah.
lose control of.
Yeah.
And I wound up the ones that she never really messed with. I wound up giving them away after she died. I think to
Yeah.
Goodwill or somebody like that. And
Okay.
because I figured, it's like I don't have time for that right now. It's
Yeah.
just not in my wheelhouse, and so and I figured I'd just give them to Goodwill, and hopefully there'll be somebody else along that
Yeah.
I'll work for.
And
And
yeah, and that's exactly it. You don't need permission to do that
that's
anymore.
right. That's right.
We've done our dash.
Once you hit
We just
50,
want to have fun.
it's like be done with yourself.
Yeah, and they aren't like, they're like, one's like $10. I don't know what the other one is, nearly $15, but it was just for my
With
time
shipping, it
and
was
putting it
under
together.
$25. With shipping, it was under $25 for both
Okay,
of
there
them.
you go. For both
Um,
of them. So it's just
yeah,
fun, and it's kind of sassy. The Boundaries Journal is sassy because it's all about but it's
yeah,
also like also acknowledging other people. And then you think about the things you did that day, something that is about who deserves a gold star besides me. and and then what you got out of it. It's just real simple and easy. Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
yeah. They are
Yeah.
really good. When we told her doctors
Cool.
that one
That's
of the
great.
retired nuns had brought her over a bunch of books, coloring books, and he was like, "Yeah, that's really good because it'll help, with her hand-eye coordination." I know once she went into the nursing home. By that point, she had lost the capability of speech. She
Oh
could
gosh.
kind of grunt a little bit, but she couldn't talk anymore. And the nurse had told me I had come by one weekend and she was still sleeping, and I didn't want to wake her up. I said, I'll just hang for a little bit. And so the nurse was talking to me. She said, yeah, yesterday she was real active. She was out here in her wheelchair, and her boyfriend was wheeling her around. My mother had a love-starved suitor, another dementia patient that just
Great.
fell in love with her, and he would sit by her, make sure she ate, he'd push her around in the wheelchair, and I'm like,
That's so
okay,
cool.
this is too wild. I mean,
Hmm.
and the nurses all thought it was so cute, but the nurse was telling me, she said, I was sitting here at the desk out in the common areas. So I'm sitting here filling out charts and stuff, doing paperwork. She said,
Yeah.
and your mom had come over and she kept pointing at the papers and, motioning to for me to give her papers so she could help. She said, and I remembered you
Oh,
had told me that she used to do bookkeeping and secretarial
oh,
work.
neat.
She said, so I gave her a bunch of blank papers that just like used
Yeah.
papers. They had stuff on it, but they would scribble on the back and a
Yeah.
pencil. She said, and she sat here for like an hour
Wow.
scribbling on this paper, then acting like she was signing it, and then she would hand it off to me, and I would be like, "Thank you, Miss Sharon," and she'd put it off to the side, and she said my mom was so proud of herself because she thought she was working. She was doing something that she remembered doing from in the past.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool. Hey, Marby.
That's cool.
Um,
Hey, Marby. Hey,
we got,
everybody.
um,
Hey, hey,
we got
hey. That's so
James,
cool.
we've got Marby, we
Hi,
got
Connie.
Connie, we got
Hey,
Shining Love
James.
Truth. Um, uh,
Shining.
we got Dibs is here. 357
Connie.
Eagle is
Hey,
here.
hey. Hey,
Nancy
hey,
is
hey.
here. Rose is here. Uh, Dibs is here. Our lyrical
Hey, Rose
miracle.
Blue. Yep.
Joy
Cool.
and Zora and
Oh, I love this handle. Ice melts
I
by
felt
love.
my
That's
love.
so
I
cool.
love that.
I love it. That's
Carrie,
cool.
Owen Walker,
Hey, thank you
Metal
so much,
Twister.
everybody.
That's a new name. Hi, Metal Twister. I don't recognize your
Yeah.
name. Welcome. I'm glad you're here.
Mm.
And uh,
So I just wanted to say, everybody, thank you so much.
Alex,
I mean, it's for you and it's about you. And that's the way I figured I could contribute to our community because I can't do videos all the time. I'm in a weird time zone. Can you guys hear me still? I'm
she's
getting,
over in New Zealand. Yeah, we can hear you fine.
yeah. Okay.
Um,
My video's going weird.
I forgot to put the links to
Yeah.
these in the description box. So after the
I
show's
just put them in.
over,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
okay,
I
because I was
just put
going
them
to
in the
tag
chat,
them.
but we'll put them
I
in. Yeah.
can go add it to the description box too.
Yeah.
So,
That'll be good. Thank you.
so yeah, and for
Hey.
those of you who haven't heard yet, we got the house. Yay!
Woo!
We got the house.
Awesome. Yay,
And,
that's such great news.
And so we're really excited about that. And Nate started a GoFundMe to help us with moving costs because we weren't prepared to make a move right now,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're told, yeah, no, you got to get out by July because they're renovating your building. And
Yeah.
and then they wanted to up the rent by like $400 once the renovation was done. And so we started talking, and I was like, if we got to pay that much money, I want a house. I'm sure we can find a house somewhere in town for that much or less. And we found a house for a little bit less than what the new hey J Cat Lady, and our vibration is here. So
Hey.
we
Hey,
got
Rhonda.
we got a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, which I'm so excited because I'm going to have my own room with a door that I can shut. And it's only after you've lived in the living room for 10 plus years that you can get really excited about having your own room again with a door to shut. And I don't know, Rose. We haven't got that far yet. It doesn't look like it's going to be. We won't actually, I think, be making the move until right around the 1st of July.
Okay.
And
in time for 4th of July. So you can have a
yeah,
barbecue in your backyard. That's so cool.
But well, we'll be in the middle of town right there, so we can't do firecrackers in the yard. But they have
Can you do
pretty strict
sparklers?
warrants here. You gotta be like down
Okay.
by the river or over
fair
in
enough.
certain
Fire
areas.
hazards.
Yeah,
Okay.
fire hazards. Especially in the neighborhood we're moving into. It's a much older, established neighborhood. Like our house was built in the 60s that we're moving into. And so you have very mature trees and whatnot all around.
Mhm.
They don't want firecrackers going off because it's too easy to catch somebody's tree on fire which could catch
Oh
people's,
yeah, that would just be
you
like a
know,
match. It would just light up. Poof. That
yeah. So
the fires. Yeah, I
got a
get that.
huge
Mhm.
backyard. All of the appliances in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Normally, you rent a house down here, and there are no appliances unless it's a built-in.
Okay.
Other than
Cool.
that, you got to supply your own appliances. And
Okay.
so, we started looking for a house. We're thinking, oh, I have to go and get a stove and a refrigerator, and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And no, it comes with all the appliances and a
Fantastic.
washer dryer to boot is included, which really floored us because you never get those with a place unless you're in an apartment.
No.
And so we've got all the
Yeah.
kitchen appliances and a washer dryer, huge backyard, a double car carport, so we can get two cars underneath the carport. Um, and it's in a nice older neighborhood, um, not far from one of the parks here in town that the kids use. And
Oh, cool. That's
so
nice.
I'm going to try to put together a little bit of a slideshow to
Yeah.
show everybody on the
That's pretty
slumber
cool.
party tonight. Yeah, it's got really good bones, dude. It really does.
That's good. Good bones are so critical, and the rest is just
Exactly. So
makeup.
he's he's owned the. I don't know how many years he's owned it, but he's evidently has had it for a while,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
he's like the last few floods we've had here in the city. That street didn't flood because it's
so it's
older.
high enough.
And
Yeah,
so
and
it's
well
built up.
established.
Yeah, they used to
Yeah.
build up, and a lot
Oh
of the
wow, that's cool.
newer residential areas were built where there were either rice fields or
Nice.
soybean fields or
Yeah.
anything like that, and so they were all fields that were lower because they needed to retain water,
Yeah.
and they didn't build them up when they started putting in the subdivisions. They just put like a layer of dirt and went from there. And so every time it rains, you get all these new subdivisions, they all flood out.
They all
Mm,
flood. Yeah.
yeah.
The older bones and the older places. There's a renovation show on Netflix that I was binge watching, and it's somewhere in the South, like Tennessee or something. My house or our home. Somebody here in the chat will know it. And that's where I learned about how they're built up for flooding, and how they used to have a lot better bones and standards. And people, the renovation's nuts. I mean, they put like this horrible linoleum, they call it lino here, over this gorgeous hardwood. It's just crazy what people did. And the crazy
Hardwood
colors.
floors. And
Yeah, it's
so
a beautiful. That's so
no
cool.
carpet.
Yeah.
Yay, which is great because we have
Yeah.
pets. He takes pets, and it's a younger guy. I would say he's probably mid to late 30s, married, 3 little kids. And so, he wanted to be careful whoever moved in because he
Yeah.
didn't want somebody moving in that's going to rip up his house. It was like, well,
that's it.
no, I can get that. I mean, that
Yeah.
makes absolute sense. You don't
Yep.
want to invest in something like that and then
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
turn around and rent it out to somebody that rips it to hell and back. And believe me,
No, and at least he can be discerning about that. Some people may not
yeah,
be
and
in
he
the
does the
financial
yard
position
work.
to
We
be
don't
discerning
even
for the rentals. Yeah.
He does the yard work. We don't even have to mow the grass. He's like, no, I got all the equipment. I'll come out once a week and mow. We're
Oh
like,
my gosh! So
okay.
no doubt you'll have a chat, and he'll just. That sounds like a
Exactly.
lovely
So,
landlord. That's awesome.
and
I love it.
so, yeah, he seems like a nice guy. I mean,
Really cool.
I did a walkthrough a couple of weeks ago. He came and met my brother, had already been over there and looked at it and was
Oh,
like, no,
cool.
you got to come look at this house. And so he set it up like the following week after I got off work one Friday, and we went over and looked at it. And I got to go
Yeah.
in and walk through the house, and the energy level in that house is like off the charts.
Oh,
high.
that's brilliant.
I was literally humming walking through the place. And
That
I'm
gives
walking
me
through and I'm
goosebumps.
like, this is it.
Yeah.
Okay, this is it.
Yeah.
So Oh yeah, we make sweet tea all the time down here.
Yeah,
So
sweet tea would be so
anyhow,
yum.
that's what's going on. I'll go into a little bit more detail tonight for the slumber party. Debs, are you coming? Let me know. Um, I sent out an email earlier. I guess I should check my emails. Um, but there's mainly though, Ann and I just hadn't
Thank.
got together in a while, so we won't be able
No,
to
we haven't.
chit chat.
Yeah,
And then
chit
she
chat.
told me that she had these 2 books she did, so I immediately went, bought the books, and said, "Okay,
Thank you.
we're gonna show off the books while you're here." And I really like them.
Yeah. Thank
Uh,
you.
they're really good, I think, especially for people who are just either first discovering this kind of thing or who are coming back to it after who knows how many years away from it. And it's just enough to not be too intimidating. And who doesn't like to
Yeah.
color in coloring books? I mean, that's a very stress-free thing to do that kind of keeps your hands busy, you know?
There's
Um,
actually research behind that, Sherry. It's
yeah, I
you
know.
guys would call it the flow state, but it's actually the word for it. It's the autotelic state. So here's the academic, right? Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, it's this.
She's gonna throw all her $1 million words out at us, and we're all
I
like,
know.
"What?
Sorry.
What'd
This
she
is a
say?"
guy. He's a psychologist from. Well, he's retired now, and it's a Hungarian name. It's very difficult for me to pronounce, but Csikszentmihalyi or something like that. I totally butchered it. Forgive me, anybody who speaks Hungarian present or watching this later. But anyway,
I
he
don't know
he
if I have any Hungarian viewers, but if I do, you can
you
correct
never
us
know.
on the pronunciation.
Anyway, he came up with that idea, but we all know it. Have you ever done anything where it's absent of time, and you're in such a vibe or flow state that time just disappears and you don't know what just happened, but you were in just a brilliant place? Yeah, that's what that is, the flow state. So that's easier than saying autotelic. But and they use it in educational research. I'm an educationalist, they call it. So yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a fancy schmancy professor. Um, that
I'm not
doctor in
fan.
front of her name is legit. That's not just
Yeah,
because she wants to
no,
sound fancy. She's really got the degrees to back it up.
yeah, I
Which
do.
is
And way
why
too
when
many
we
years of
first
study.
became friends, I was like, how did I end up with a doctor as a buddy? I'm like, where did I skip the boat here? I feel like I jumped timelines or something. But we met,
Yeah,
Allie had a book club going at the time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's how we
Ellie
met. We
Martin.
were
Yeah,
both in the book club.
yeah,
And so, yeah, we've got
um,
lots of,
yeah.
and yes, I saw the news last night. The Kennedy Center, they have removed the current occupant's name from the Kennedy Center, which I know the remaining Kennedys are very happy about it because
I bet.
that center was created and established in memory of JFK. And
Yeah.
I know his daughter Caroline Schlossberg was not a happy camper with the crap that the current occupant was pulling. And it was like everything they had lined up for the next several years for shows, everybody quit, everybody pulled out. And so they
Of
couldn't get
course.
anybody to show up and perform. And the minute the Supreme Court came back and said, nope, name's got to go, all the talent started coming back saying, okay, we can come back now.
If that's not an indicator, I mean,
But I'm
this
telling you,
person can't read the writing on the wall.
he
Well,
can't
that
read.
person's really sick.
Yeah, well, from what his niece says, that he's dyslexic and can't read,
Oh
and that
yeah, Mary.
she
Yeah,
thinks that he might
yeah.
even be on the autism spectrum because of the way he learned and whatnot. And not to make fun of anybody,
No,
I don't
we
want
have.
anybody to be offended. I've got family members who
So do I.
are on
We've got a neurospicy household.
the
Yeah, I get
spectrum,
it.
you know.
Yeah.
So I don't want anybody to feel like I'm talking down about it. I'm not. Uh, but yeah, you get a lot of people on the spectrum that either weren't diagnosed or their parents refused the diagnosis for it.
Especially the older generation before it
Yeah,
became on everybody's radar, and the diagnostic. So I think in our family, the person that has been diagnosed, that I think it was 1 in 20, now it's 1 in 10, and that was only maybe 21, 22 years ago. So in the world, people now, it's just part of everybody's radar, and that everybody's somewhere on a spectrum, someplace with neurotypical, whatever the typical means,
yeah.
versus diversity, and whatever that means. And I'll tell you what, every person I've met who's on the spectrum is different, every single one.
In some way,
So,
shape, or form.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Windwalker, I plan on doing a clean and
Yeah.
clear before we start moving stuff in.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's and it's.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, I grew up with. I had a cousin who was on the extreme autistic scale, like
Okay.
couldn't
Yeah.
talk. His only form of
Nonverbal. Yeah.
verbalization was screaming
Yeah.
and whatnot, and he would yank and pull at other kids' hair and clothes and stuff, not because he was trying to hurt them, but because he would see like barrettes in my hair or curlers in my hair, and he thought it
Oh.
was something attacking my head, and he would
Yeah.
immediately try to rip them out, which would make me scream, which just cascaded on itself. And so once my aunt figured out why he was always grabbing at the rollers, the little pink foam curlers we used to use as kids.
Yeah.
She would take one and clip it in his hair. He was perfectly fine after that.
Oh,
She put a
okay.
curler in his hair, and he was like, "Okay, that's cool." Um, but I don't remember him ever being able to talk.
Mm.
And there are several other family members that have different degrees of the different types of autism. Um,
Yep.
and I mean, there's just so many people that are diagnosed today because now we know what we're looking for,
Yep.
whereas
Yep.
before kids would just get kicked out of school because they were unruly or the class clown or the bully, and they didn't, people didn't know how to handle them, how to deal with them.
Yeah.
And
I went to a lecture, Sherry, with this guy who was a kind of a leading person in research in that area. And he said what he does is he'll go to a university, visit it, and he'll go to the engineering department. And he said, if you want neurospicy, just walk through the hallways of an engineering department, because they're such out of the box thinkers. And
yeah,
we need all that. We need the spectrum of thought and the spectrum of experimentation
absolutely.
and coolness and
It's
weirdness.
very
And yeah.
important to be able.
Yeah.
What I think scares me the most with kids today in school, from kindergarten on up, is so many schools have adopted the teach the test uh, formula, where you just teach for the next test, so that all the kids learning is memorization for the next test, which they can then take. They pass, the teacher gets high marks, and they move them on up the line. And you've got a kid who's coming out of high school that can't read or write properly, can't really function in society. I know years ago when my son was a toddler, I worked for the local plasma center here in town.
Oh
And
wow.
there was a set group of older folks who came in to donate on a weekly basis, couldn't read or write. We had to read all the forms out to them.
Oh
Then
my
they would
gosh.
make their mark, and then we would have to sign after it to show that we watched them make their mark. I mean, they couldn't even write their names.
They just probably would squiggle. Yeah. Oh my
And
gosh.
so
Mm.
there was a lot of the older gentlemen, they just put their X. That's all they knew to do, make that X. And we'd initial off on it. But and it's sad that we've allowed our public education system to deteriorate to the point that it's at, where kids are not being taught how to critically think, how to think outside the box. We're too busy teaching them how to dodge bullets.
Yeah, I know. And that's wrong. I actually met somebody here. I came out of knee surgery. It was a lovely American OR, post OR nurse. And she moved here because she wanted her children not to be stressed out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole
I mean, and New
bunch
Zealand's
of-
a itty bitty little in the middle of nowhere. We're floating in the Pacific. I mean, we've got the largest water border in the whole freaking world, and it's really inconvenient to get here and to get off of here. But yeah, she's just like, nope, I don't want that. So,
Yeah,
and I also
and
want to
you know
speak to
what?
what Beagle said too, and what you just said, Sherry. The whole critical thinking. I
Yeah.
agree, but actually now more with artificial intelligence, and I've been doing a lot of research in my work on this stuff.
Yeah, it's just
Critical
not,
thinking is even more critical with AI in the mix, and learning. And how do you teach people to go from? And there are ways. Part of the research, my research area, is a school of thought that's comes out of Cambridge University, and also there's a place. There's a few researchers. There's a lot in Down Under that does this too, in Australia and New Zealand, and we are looking at ways of how to teach children from kindergarten all the way through high school, how to be critical thinkers, and even the UK government invested heavily in it. And it's called dialogism, but it's a way to talk. But through talk, teaching critical thinking and building on thought. And so for me, that's my research area. So my area is that, plus how do you design for it in a learning setting, in a digital, like online course, as well as in the physical in the classroom. That's where my area of research.
yeah. I mean,
So
it's so
yeah,
important.
so critical. Yeah,
Kids how to
yeah,
to think through a problem. I mean, and like I said, when I worked at the Plasma Center I was there for like 14 years. It got to where I started meeting younger people that were closer to my age at the time, in their 20s and stuff, that were functionally illiterate. They could read and write just enough that they could sign their name. And if they had enough time to do it without pressure, they could print their name and their address and their phone number, and that's as far as they could get with it. They couldn't sit down and read a 3-page medical screening.
Or a prescription bottle. What do they do if they get a prescription and they take the wrong pill? I mean, So there's literacy, like to be functional as a human in society, right? Like to take care of yourself. So you got to be able to read a prescription bottle. You got to maybe a newspaper. In the olden days, I guess it'd be online now. Instead of watching videos. And to think critically about what you're absorbing. That's the key point, instead of just taking that as gospel. We know that media is very fraught.
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
We're so busy teaching to the test, and we're so busy teaching kids how to avoid pew-pews in the school, and enforcing
how can you thrive in that
on the walls. It's like, why would you put up the 10 Commandments if you're not going to take away the items that cause kids to be unalived? I have to be careful how I phrase that. So
I get it.
It's craziness. I mean,
and that sustained thinking, like reading a book. A lot of my kids, like here's just a cards book, right? A lot of them, they'll just look for the pictures and, go online and get a summary. And then they're actually missing a book versus a movie. You know how much is missing? Exactly. So it's just,
I mean, when ChatGPT first came out, they originally had trouble with some students doing papers and stuff through ChatGPT, dissertations and whatnot. It's like, no, you gotta do that on your own. I don't think we had a real big problem at our university. Most of our professors were kind of on top of it, but I know there were other universities that had a lot of trouble with it. And of course, because they all share articles with each other that wing around
Yeah.
all the different universities. Um, and it really is sad how
Yeah.
how much we've allowed our educational systems to deteriorate. Uh,
Yeah.
Anna and I were talking backstage, talking about, my first hurricane was Hurricane Camille in '69, which was a Cat 5 and killed a lot of people. Um, One of the
Gosh.
reasons why we stayed in Florida at the time was because back then, Florida was one of the top states in the country for their public education system. They taught on the
Wow.
Montessori system. And because of that, they had really high achieving students coming out of the public education schools. And then as the red factors started taking over and they started dumbing down the schools and taking away all the stuff, and we're gonna raise $5 million to build a second football stadium instead of a speech and drama center or an arts center, or to keep a band going, for a
Yeah.
marching band and whatnot. Um, there are uh, there are unfortunately a lot of schools today, and I'm a layman. I don't teach. I definitely don't teach K through 12 kids.
Yeah.
Um, I have no claim to teaching. That is not my gift. And but I can look at it from the perspective of a parent that watched her kid go through some of these changes when he first started school. Um, and it was like, I remember his dad and I would look at some of the stuff they would send home for homework and whatnot. And we'd look at each other and be like, this is what you got for homework? I mean, by the time I was in fifth grade, I was bringing home books this freaking thick that would take me 3 hours to do a. Assignment on. And now you get fill in the blank mimeograph papers, that 50% of the questions are either true, false, or yes or no. And so, unless you're a complete idiot, you're going to get at least a 50% on that paper because you're going to guess
Yeah.
half of them right. Um,
Yeah. And that's
so,
that's learning how to test take and not engaging with the content and
yeah,
absorbing it and critically analyzing it. And part of critical thinking is agreeing to disagree.
exactly. Without making it a personal attack.
Exactly. That's just having
Nowadays,
a
you have people,
conversation
they
and a
can't,
discussion. Yeah.
yeah, it's like you have people nowadays, they can't argue a position of whether they believe something or don't believe it
Yeah.
without turning it into a personal attack on the other person.
Yeah.
Um, Back when Obama was running the second time for office, and one of my nephews, Red Hatter, love him dearly, but he is what he is, Mississippi boy.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
we would get into some really interesting conversations on Facebook. And one day we were back and forth at each other on Facebook, and suddenly he turned it into something personal, and made it like a personal attack. And I had to immediately stop it right there and say, nope, we're done. And I just, logged off. And then I went back on like a couple of days later, and of course he was like, "Well, why'd you leave?" And blah blah. I said, we can agree to disagree if we can't come to the same conclusion, but that doesn't give you a right to attack my personal being, because regardless, we're family,
Yeah.
and you don't.
Exactly.
I don't attack your personal autonomy just because you're winning an argument or because you're
Yeah.
saying something that I don't want to hear. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, at the end of the day, we can just agree to disagree.
Yeah.
And he came back like a day later and apologized and said, "You're right. I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. And going forward, we'll just agree to disagree." And I was like, "Okay, fine." And it
Yeah.
was funny once I got him to accept that point of it. It was amazing how many um, topics we actually agreed on. It was
See?
just phrased
Just
differently from Republican
yeah.
speech to Democratic speech. And it was like once you get somebody to see past that point, I think
Mm.
that's when people are like, "Oh, well, wait a minute. We're saying the same thing. We're just couching it in different language." And so I know, I mean, I was no super brain. My brother was the smart one, not me. Um, but I was way ahead of my contemporaries on reading levels. I mean, by the time
Great.
I was getting into middle school, I was reading college level material and had perfect
Yeah.
comprehension of it because we read
Mm.
all the time in our house.
Yeah.
We would go to the library once a week and we would all come home with a stack of books yay high, and we would read. That's what we did at home. The only time we had a TV is if somebody gave us one. My mother never bought a TV in her entire life.
Yeah.
Anytime she ever had a TV was because somebody gave her one because they found out, "Miss Sharon, you don't have a TV? Oh my God, I got a spare TV." And then come bring it over and she'd be like, "Okay, thanks." And it would sit there. We didn't have cable. It wasn't hooked up to anything.
Yeah.
If something came through on the rabbit ears,
Yeah, the
cool.
rabbit ears. Yeah.
Yeah, in the tin foil that you wrapped around the end. And if you didn't get anything off of that, well, you just didn't watch TV and you read a book. And so I think nowadays there's far too many kids that are
Yeah.
into screen time, but they're not reading. They're playing games. They're
And they're getting the endorphin kick from the this, you know,
right.
they're
Yeah,
getting
they're on their
they're
phone or on their computer all the time. They're
yeah.
screen time all the time. I mean, you walk around campus and 95% of the students and teachers are walking around like this. They don't have any clue where they're walking. It's I'm
Well, it's ruined the attention span of people, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
And with the lack of attention span, how can you think critically to string an argument or sorry, a discussion together or a counterpoint and a point? You know,
yeah,
the
exactly.
things that make a discussion, and it, or taking the emotion out of it, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, Cliff Notes. I'd never heard of Cliff Notes either till I got into college. And one of my teachers was like, "Well, if you don't have time to read the whole book, just pick up the Cliff Notes." And I remember sitting in class going, "What's that?" And and this was way back right after high school, back in '79 when I went to college the first time, and then quit halfway through the semester. Literally just quit going. I didn't withdraw, didn't do nothing. I just quit going. And then when I tried to go back to college years later, I had to go back, contact the old university I went to, and get all of that stuff straightened out and income
Yeah.
tax and all that kind of crap. And yeah, that was a pain in the butt, but I did it. I got my degree. So,
Well
um,
done. That's awesome. Hey,
and
and everybody gets education from different places. The thing is, you need
right,
the foundational skill set, which is like reading,
my my mother
sustained
didn't
thinking.
my mother didn't
Yeah.
finish high school, but she was one
Yeah.
of the smartest people I knew
Yeah.
because she
Yeah.
read voraciously. I mean, anything and everything she could get her hands on, she would read. Um,
Yeah.
and that's how my brother and I grew up. I mean, we read all the time. Um,
Yeah.
that's just the way it was. Um,
My mother loved
so
her books because it was escapist for her. She was in such a small town. I think there were 11 people in her entire high school in the middle of the desert in Nevada. And so that's what she did. And she was a musician. She played piano, like she practiced 4 hours a day. So she would just escape out into her universe or whatever it was. And she ended up being a music teacher later in life. and teaching students to read music. But she was, but so for us, we always had National Geographic at home. I love that. I think that made me want to travel because I love the photos, but reading
Every
about
parent took out a loan to buy a set of encyclopedias for the house.
Yes, absolutely.
You could do your own research.
And I hated how they didn't go deep enough. So then I have to go to the library. My favorite thing was rifling through the card stacks, the other thing was going through, the Dewey Decimal System. This is how nerdy I am. But I would just go into an aisle and find something exciting and grab it. And then you'd look at all the books around it and you'd have all the other topics to the book that looked really cool. So it was just so fun.
By the time I was in fourth grade, my mother was having to check out books for me from the adult section because I'd already read everything in the children's section.
Yeah, that's cool. And the smell of the library and the books.
Oh, yeah.
There's something about it. Anyway,
I've got tons of books still, and I gave away like 3/4 of them when I left Arizona and came back here. I gave away probably a good 75-80% of the books I had. And I've still got boxes and boxes and boxes of books. And I'm getting ready to purge some more and give away a bunch.
But that's good, though, so somebody else can read it, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
And the thing is, books and things last beyond us, right? We write something, it's out there, and it's a thought in the world of thinking, and it's out there, and it's a dip, it used to have some kind of authority and permanence, but what I like about it now that I've, done all the research I've done and all the cool people and stuff, I just love how it's like there's a legacy out there for people to consider thinking, and that's so cool to me.
I knew a lot of kids who they got their encyclopedias from the trash because somebody's relative worked for the garbage company and ran behind a garbage truck. And we had a friend that worked for the local garbage company here in Lafayette. And I mean, he was with them for over 20 years. That man ran behind the back of a garbage truck for the entire time I knew him. And
he must have been fit.
He was pretty fit. Yeah. He wound up getting cancer and passed away. But back in the beginning when we first knew him, and he would call my husband up depending on what he would see on the route for as far as appliances or stuff like that would get hauled out to the front, like the garbage truck is going to pick that up. He'd, they get to the next stop and he'd go call my husband and say, okay, we've got a refrigerator on this street at this address and a dishwasher on this street at this address. And my husband would go pick them up in the truck, bring them home, strip them down for parts and copper tubing and stuff. And I never owned an appliance the entire time I was married that had the original plug on it.
He would rewire it.
Plug off to fix something, and then I would be stuck with some wires screwed together. I would be like, leave my damn appliances alone.
Now people just throw them out. But, I have to say, when I came to New Zealand, it was like the throwing away culture in America is very significant compared to like here, especially the post World War II. They were cut off. They had to make do with everything. It's called the number 8 wire. So it's like a fencing wire. So they would use that for anything. They'd wire the hoses in the car together. So nobody throws away stuff. They just repurpose it, or
exactly.
Or get a new element for your stove instead of the element's gone. I got to get a new stove.
I mean, and that's a lot of what my husband did was appliance repair. So I watched him take stuff apart in a million pieces, figure out what was wrong, put it all back together, and it worked like new. And it'd be like, I would just scratch my head and be like, I don't know how you did that, but okay.
Yeah, exactly. I would get lost. Like engines. Oh my gosh, you know how many parts are in an engine? The only reason I know is I worked at a vocational institute for a while.
I watched my mother rebuild a carburetor. I watched my mother rebuild a carburetor on the dining room table. She took it off the car, brought it in, put it on the dining room table, and took it off. And the entire carburetor was completely broken down. Every screw, every little piece was marked with a sticky with what number it was that she took it off. Was it the first thing she took off, the last thing she took off?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Where it went. And the first time I had invited my husband over, we were just started dating, to meet my mom, and she had a water pump all taken apart, spread out on the dining room table.
Oh, cool.
He did mechanic work. He walked over, was looking at that. He's like, what on earth? And my mother came out of the kitchen. She said, touch it and die. He was like, I'm not touching nothing, but what are you doing? She's like, I'm rebuilding the water pump. And he said, do you know how to do that? She says, I bought a book. And he went, okay. He just left it at that. And that's how she learned. She rebuilt our carburetor. She rebuilt the water pump, drove the men in the neighborhood crazy because they would line the fence up, want to come help her. And she'd be like, no, I got it. Go away. Do it herself. And of course, we're talking, late 60s to mid 70s.
And that's when women really started becoming free. And only in the last... Women had to have a male family member or a husband open a checking account for them at the bank back then. Now women are 100% independent of that. So she was a real,
for now,
real innovative. But only in the last 50 years have we really come into our own as empowered, in charge of ourselves,
to
doing
roll
things.
those rights back and take them away. So
I know that's.
It's like
that kind of makes my blood
boil.
The
younger women all the time, when they were like, it's not important if I vote. I'm like, do you realize what your great grandmother did for you to have the right to vote? She went to jail. She got beaten and raped and thrown out by her family and divorced by her husband, and her children would disown her because she was standing up for the right to vote. I said, so I said, they fought for that right. That don't throw that out the door because somebody's gaslighting you about voting. So
the ability to do things and to be confident in yourself to do these things, and all that rolls in together, and the spirituality, to have that internal fortitude, intestinal fortitude, I call it sometimes. I'm sure you've heard of that. That strength, that inner, I'm going to stand for this, and this is it, and I'm going to do this regardless if it kills me. Kind of like, I knew nothing about publishing books, and Amazon or anything like that. But I said, I thought that was so cool.
16.
Yes.
And see, like
that's
my husband
cool,
was
Cassie. I love it.
lawnmower motors when he was 4 because his daddy did that. And so he did that.
I wasn't afraid to put the bike chain back on my bike. I wasn't afraid to muck around with the tires and the inner tubes.
Or greasy or
exactly
like that. That just came right along. So
you don't go buy a new bike
right
to do that.
Hour here, and one more time.
Sorry. Oh thank you.
This is Anne's book. This is the journal book for women over 50. So if you have any women 50 or over, oh hell, they don't have to be 50. They could be 40.
They could be whatever. It's just, I thought.
But if you know anybody that's just starting to get into journaling and feels a little intimidated, this is a really, really good book to start out with. At least get you used to the idea of doing that. And of course,
put the link in for you. That's just fun.
If I can get to a page with a picture on it, here we go. This is the coloring book, and so it's really cool. It got some cool pictures in here. So I was looking at it earlier when it came in, because like I said, it was supposed to get here yesterday, and it didn't come in, and I was like, it better get here by 4 o'clock. And it did. It got here around 2 o'clock. So I was like, okay, the mailman lives today.
That's cool. Thank you. I haven't even got my copies yet.
I gave away all the damn colored pencils I had too, so I'm going to go buy another box of colored pencils.
Yeah, but
And
it's just something fun where you can just escape, and it's
it's
just,
something that's kind of mindless that
yeah,
lets your brain just, let your hand do
yeah,
its thing. And it's your color book. You can color it any colors you
yeah,
want. You don't have to make it
yeah,
standardized of what you think something's supposed to look at. If you want to have purple hair and polka dot skin, that's okay. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Do
you
whatever works
color
for
it the way
you.
you want to color it. And
I just have to say a story. My sister and I, we lost our mother about a year and a half ago. I think I said earlier, but my sister, the first picture in that book has a chair, and it's just all about centering yourself, and has a little statement and an affirmation. But the chair is kind of the center of the picture, and my sister colored it in the color of my mother's chair, and I cried when I saw it.
there you
Yeah,
go.
see the little chair in the background, and it's just they're escapist images, and anyway, yeah, and nature, being in nature, yeah. So anyway, it's just my contribution, because I don't do
That would be my
videos.
favorite kind of chair to sit in, would be
Yeah, it's
outside in
comfy.
an arbor like that. So yeah,
Yeah. Oh, cool.
for
Thank you,
sure.
Sherry.
And,
Yeah. Anyway, it's just, if it's something that resonates with you and you're interested, do it. If not, that's totally cool too.
absolutely.
It's just
Well,
for
like I said,
whatever.
when you
Yeah.
told me you just had 2 books published, I'm like, oh well, I gotta go get them.
Thank you.
And I know Ann put it in the
I put
chat,
the,
and I'm gonna go
yeah.
in and put the links in the description box. I think I forgot to do that. I have to go double check myself. And
Thank
that way
you.
y'all can go in and check them out yourself. And if you like those, go look at others. There's lots of others out there. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy
They're
coloring
cheap. I
books
made
that
them
are
cheap
this
on
big
purpose.
and
Right.
coloring books
Yeah.
that are this big. It just
Yeah.
depends. So
Yeah. I think we need that escapism and just recentering ourselves. And especially since we're coming into, like I said earlier, our second from the late 40s onwards, really your 50s.
yeah, well, and
That's the last season, cool part of your
so
life where
many
you're
of us
simple
nowadays listen to
things.
Audible
Yeah.
books because we don't
Yeah.
have time to sit down and read. And when we do have
Yeah.
time to sit down to read, we're used to doing Audible books. And so then what are you going to do with your hands? And a lot of people have their little games on their tablet that they're doing.
Yeah.
And so it's like that's something you can do without having to put that electronic blue light in your face for,
Yeah, you can sit outside and just enjoy the summer evenings or afternoon,
exactly.
morning when the birds are singing, and just vibe out.
Yep, there you go. I just
Yeah, I love the sound of
fix the
birds.
microwave door. Yeah, our boss
That's
bought a
cool.
brand new microwave for our lounge like 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, wow,
And the
cool.
other day, somebody went to use it. It ran for like 10 seconds. I mean, it just completely went out. Brand new microwave. And
Yeah, I hope you
so
returned it.
we had to box it back up for him so he could
Yeah.
bring it back and get them to exchange it. And so we're waiting on the new microwave to come in. And so,
Bye,
all
Cassie.
right, y'all, we're going to say goodbye. I've got to go take at least an hour to 2 hour nap for the slumber party tonight. So I'm awake. If we don't start
Sure.
till 10 o'clock, that's in what, like 5 hours. And
Yeah.
it'll be supper time for you, I think.
Yeah,
And,
it's 10 in the morning for me on Sunday, so I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know
yeah.
what time it is.
I have to
But
go to
we're
my little
together.
app and I have to go to my app and look it up.
Yeah.
Um,
I know I have to do.
we're gonna be doing a mini marathon next Saturday on my channel. Nathan and I are running it for the GoFundMe for the moving fee uh, fundraiser because, like I said, none of us were expecting to have to make a move this summer, and so my brother's in school during the summer working on his master's, and I was in the process of saving up for a laptop, which that just went out the window. And it's like I have to wait till after we get moved. But
Yeah.
you got first and last month's rent, security deposits, pet deposits, transfer
It's not.
fees. It's ridiculous how
How
expensive it
many
is.
fees can they do that? How can they actually? That's crazy. That's
It's
nuts.
like it's ridiculous. It's like you're expecting somebody to come up with like 4 or 5 times the amount of money just to make a move. And,
And all the logistical stuff on top of it.
yeah,
And that takes time and energy. It's
like I
stressful.
physically can't move things anymore. My brother and my son are borderline being able to physically move things. We do have a few friends with a pickup truck or two that volunteered to come help. We'll see if they show up. I mean, we might wind up hiring 2 guys in a truck to come and get it and haul it over there. Most of our stuff is going to be boxes and like bedroom furniture, bookshelves.
Yeah. Well, if I were there, I'd come and help, but it's kind of hard from here. Yeah, but I think it's wonderful that you're doing the marathon. That's great. So
yeah, it's just going to take a little time to
2 men in a truck.
2 men in a truck. Yeah, we've used them before. Just a couple of strong backs to show up and haul things. And
there's some really cool people here that are massive that move stuff. We had to do that because there's just too much junk in our. Although we need to do a big cleanse of the house.
Exactly. So this is kind of our big spring cleaning deal.
Yeah,
we got to move.
Great. Yeah,
it gives us a reason to clean everything. Is
yeah, that's not fun, but it'll be worth it. The energy is going to be amazing. You're going to have all that yucky old energy gone.
Yeah.
You'll be in a new space with more room to breathe, and you've got a big garden, backyard. Yeah.
Crazy ass neighbors living above me.
Yeah.
I can't
That's
wait.
another thing. Yeah. No, that's great.
Another thing. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you, Ann, for coming on.
Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, everybody.
Y'all go out. They're on Amazon, so you can go and get them.
And, they aren't in ads, so they're really hard to find. You need to write the whole title in. So Sherry will put it in the description.
I will put the links for them in the description box. Thank you. I think Ann put them in the chat, and then I'm going to put them in the description box so that if you know anybody that you want to order a gift for, I mean, Father's Day is just around the corners, and there's a lot of dads out there that does mom's work too. So
so there you go.
There's a lot of moms that do dad's work, so I think it doesn't really matter.
Well, and we're coming into our own, right?
So
it's all about you guys. So if it makes you feel good and something you're interested in, it's about you. It's really just from my heart because that's how I serve the community. I don't do the live videos. Sherry serves the community. She's a real bringer together of so many amazing people. And, and that's what I'm grateful to be your friend and to come here and enjoy the vibe of the community.
Thankful that you're my friend. So
thank you.
Because we've already got to be friends. I remember thinking to myself, how did this really smart woman pick me for a friend? I don't get it. And then I got to talking to you and said, oh, she's crazy like me. Okay, I get it. We're both a little wacky in the head, so that's why we get along. We're just on opposite sides of the globe from one another.
Yeah, but one day I'm going to come and I'm going to do a tour. I'm just going to hit all the states. That's one of the things I really want to do is meet everybody, give everybody a big hug, and that'd be cool.
And hey, June, I see June is here. She's a new reader that I recently discovered. I've had on a few times.
Fantastic.
June Wagner, Mouth of the South is her
cool.
moniker. So you'd probably really enjoy watching her. She's really good. So, all right, y'all have a great afternoon. I'm going to go take a nap. So I'm awake for tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
And we will see everybody soon. Bye.
Yep.